Yeah, if you see them, go ahead and spit them out, Mike, or something, because I'm on my phone tonight.
But bore sighted, and we've already got that done. We're going to take a shot, and then we'll show you how we make adjustments from there. All right, so after Ryan's first shot, remarkably, he's only... Hello, everybody. Today, Ryan and I are going to show you how we sight in the Alpen Kodiak Series scope. Now, Ryan's got his 308 with an Alpen Kodiak 2.5 by 10 by 50. Now, the first thing you'd want to do is have it bore sighted, and we've already got that done. We're going to take a shot, and then we'll show you how we make adjustments from there. All right, so after Ryan's first shot, remarkably, he's only an inch high and an inch to the right. Now, typically when you bore sight a gun, you're not always that close, but in this situation, we were fortunate to be pretty darn well dead on. But so what we're going to do next is Ryan is going to hold the crosshairs on the bullseye, same spot he shot from before, and we're going to actually make an adjustment with the crosshairs and go to the bullet, up and over to the right, 1 inch. Okay, you ready?
There.
There? Okay, and
other way. There.
Right there?
Yep.
Okay, so once again, what we did is Ryan held the crosshairs on the bullseye, on the red dot, and we actually I made the adjustments that moved the crosshairs up and over to the bullet hole, and we're gonna take a second shot. Okay, so on this shot, we brought it over to the left, and we're just a little bit high yet, so we're gonna make a slight adjustment, and we should be pretty darn close to on at that point. And so we're shooting high?
Yeah.
So we wanna go low. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, once again, we're shooting just a little bit high. We held it on the bullseye, and I made adjustments to bring the crosshairs down, or actually to the bullet, which in essence is bringing it down to where we want it to be. So hopefully we're on this time. Huh?
We hit red.
All right, we hit red, and that's exactly how you sight in a gun. Man, but you can't wait to get out and go hunting with it, huh?
Yeah.
Nine. 8. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. I'm your host, Rick White, and yeah, we got a lot of talk to talk about here tonight, but my guest comes all the way from the eastern part of the states, New Jersey, Mr. Mike DiGiovanni. So don't go anywhere. We'll have Mike back here just in a few moments.
The memories that I think I can remember the most are the days that my dad and I were really spent time in the outdoors.
There we go.
All right. Well, again, welcome back, everybody. Those technical glitches always seem to catch up with us for sure. But anyways, hey, my guest tonight has been on the show before. Fellow pro staff member and good friend Mike DiGiovanni, all the way from New Jersey. Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Rick. How you doing?
Good. Hey, what's your weather doing out there?
Today was very warm. Tomorrow's gonna be warm, and then the bottom's gonna fall out Saturday night into Sunday. Our weather's changing as typical on the East Coast. And everything that follows through with these storms, you never know. It's as of today, it's very warm.
You guys had, or at least the eastern part of the states had a ton of snow here just in the last couple of weeks. How did that impact you guys?
Our shoreline, which is our coast, they got hit hard, 18 to 21 inches. Up where I live, I'm in the northwestern part of New Jersey. We ended up right around 3 to 5 inches, and it's gone now, but supposedly there's another storm coming in this weekend, Sunday into Monday. So tomorrow's going to be 60s. Saturday is supposed to be 60, 65, and then the bottom's going to fall out, drop down to the lower 20s at night, and then a high of 27 on Sunday.
That's going to make it a little bit tougher to go shed hunting. Of course, it's probably just a little bit early yet, but we're thinking about it.
Yeah, always thinking about it. Always looking to see what made it. Go out there and do some hiking and get some exercise and see what Mother Nature has.
Yeah, our best time, shed hunting around here in the Midwest, usually the first part of March, maybe the second week of March, anytime in there. Now, there might still be some buck sporting, antlers at that point, but a majority of them generally have dropped by March. So it's a good time. As soon as the snow melts here, people are out looking for them because, and I hate to say it, in this part of the country, even though you may own your own property or have private land to go on, it seems like if you don't get out right after the snow, somebody else has already been on your place. It's terrible that people do that.
Yeah, and Rick, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of people that shed hunt in the state of New Jersey. Here is tough because if we have snow and don't have snow, what happens as soon as they drop, squirrels hammer them, and they'll chew them up and they're gone. Going forward and looking in the state of New Jersey, I noticed that, when I was just talking to you about it before, is that our deer tend to hold horns longer than they do out in the Midwest. And I don't know why. Cell cameras prove it. And you see pictures of them. But this year, for some reason, I'm starting to see right around 2 weeks ago, they're starting to drop. I see one-sided. I see some dropping both of them. But I still got big boys holding both sides, and just a matter of time. Once I get a picture of them, on our Bresser cameras, I'm going out looking for them. And, they're there. It's so tough to find them, especially out here because we have big timber. Timber's hard to find sheds in, especially without a dog. Open fields, yeah, you can find them. Our food sources are far and few between, and plus the property, you got little parcels. So it was funny. Last year I was driving it to work. I pulled into a job site I'm working on, and the security guard let me in, and lo and behold, we're laying right on the curb inside a fenced community at the job site I'm working. I found the shed. So it's just weird where you can find them, where you can't find them.
What do you concentrate on then in that kind of terrain? I mean, you just kind of blindly walking around looking, or obviously you got to know where your bedding areas are, but what, your food sources make it tough because you don't have a lot. I mean, what do you do?
Basically, I walk my known trails where there is food. Basically, that time of the year is, our underbrush is very heavy. So basically, they could drop and shed, their shed antlers at any point. I don't bother with ridges, top of the mountains, because, yes, there is acorns. You might find one there. Most of all the sheds I do find are all down in the bottom grounds and swamps. cattails, thickets, and foul deer trails. And the best part about shed hunting, Rick, I can find trails listed before. And if the sportsman will get out there and just put boots on the ground and look, you'll find trails that you never knew existed before. And there's a couple trails I found last year that I hunted this year that was productive, but nothing that I liked, that I seen coming through there. But I know it's a new escape route, or either it's a new escape route or a new area that deer are just starting to migrate to this side of the area. I don't know, because of food source, because it's tough, especially where I hunt, it's tough.
I've come across some great hunting locations that I've always put off to the next year, that I've found when I've been out shed hunting or even mushroom hunting or turkey season. But it's amazing. You never stop scouting for deer. And a lot of people often overlook scouting after deer season's over. And I don't understand why they do that.
Rick, either do I. And you know me, my season never ends, 24/7, full year. Basically, for instance, this weekend, I'll be out this weekend. I never stop. From running cameras, I run cameras 24/7, the whole entire year. And basically my big thing is in the winter times, especially like now, we got spring coming up. Spring's going to hit us right around, March, April. My big thing is when I first see, antlers starting to grow, and I had them as early. Last year I had a picture, it was like the end of March. I had a picture of he's growing. So, do your homework, scout your ground. We have a ton of public ground here, ton of state land, WMAs. You can go to the Delaware Gap, which is hopefully soon is going to be a national park, and thousands of acres where you can go. You got to get out there and look. If you don't go out there and look, don't go blind, because you're going to be very disappointed in your season because you're not seeing deer. Well, most people say, hey, it's cold out. I'm not going. The season's over. I'm not going out anymore. Well, now's the time to go. And we talked about this before. This is the time to go out and scout, because you can see in the snow where the trails are. You can see where they go in the wintertime, and you can keep moving forward.
Right. Now, you mentioned that you've had some warm days and some cold days, and I know you like to ice fish. So those warm days probably are putting a little damper on your ice fishing. Or are you still out?
Oh, no. It's even though you have these warm days, I mean, I haven't been out yet this year, but I'm going to be going, not this weekend, next weekend. But most of our ponds and lakes right now, 5 to 8 inches of ice. This warm weather won't even knock that down. So our ice will be here probably the middle of April. Probably fishable to about middle of March. There's a lot of tournaments going on this weekend here in the great state of New Jersey. People are posting them all over the place on social media, ice fishing tournaments. So get out and walk on the water. People always say, walk on water. Yeah, you're walking on water. And it's actually a great time, Rick. I'm telling you, if you get out and ice fish, I don't know if you ever did it. Did you ever ice fish before?
Yeah, I have, but not to the extent that you have.
All right, so it's a blast. I mean, you drill a couple holes. You can set a tent up if you want. You can put your little buddy heater in there, stay warm, get your little jigging rod out, little 16th ounce jig head, a little wax worm, and you can jig. You catch panfish, crappies, black crappies, bass, pike, muskies. One of the big lakes here where I live is a town in Oxford, big musky lake. Constantly catching muskies, 41, 44s, 48s, 47 through the ice.
Yeah, most of my ice fishing was when I was quite a bit younger, and it was going out, it seemed like, in the coldest weather, and drilling a hole in the ice and sitting on a 5-gallon bucket and waiting for a fish to hopefully. And I did that a lot, and I really like, I think, the fish shacks and the that kind of stuff a little better. Buddy heaters weren't, you couldn't get a buddy heater back in those days. So, a lot nicer now. But you're a big saltwater fisherman too, and I think I don't know if Paul's got them, but we've got a bunch of photos of you with some pretty nice impressive fish. But when will you start hitting the saltwater?
I start hitting the saltwater. What happens is my season starts in the saltwater on the Jersey coast right around second week of April. That's when you have the migration of the striped bass that come down from either the north. There's actually two striped bass migrations. We have the southern and the northern. So most of my fish come off from Montauk all the way down, and basically they go up the Hudson River to spawn. So I fish an area that's called the Raritan Bay. I have a great captain that I go out with every year. I do 4 or 5 trips a year with them. And Rick, it's when you're on them, and it's insane fishery. And thank God that, you know, they started protecting the striped bass, because the striped bass were getting extinct from longliners, you know, netters, pulling them out. Right now, our striped bass season last year was one of the best seasons I ever seen. Multiple fish over 40 pounds, 45 pounds. We had one almost touch 50 pounds. And obviously you can't keep those fish because our slot limit is 38 inches to 29, but it's still great to catch them, get a photo of them, put them back in the water because they're all females, and let them swim up that Hudson River right along New York, Manhattan, and spawn.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think you have a really good recipe for stripers. Yes,
I do.
Let's hear it. And everybody can grab a pencil, or you can always watch this back again on Facebook.
Yeah, you can. One of my great friends, Josh, who's actually my neighbor, fishes with me all the time in the spring for stripers. And it's funny when you get back to the docks and he's sitting at the marina and you're watching the meat fillet the fish. They always cut the belly, which is the rib cage section, out of the belly, which I call the belly, you know, striper belly, and because people don't want to eat that, they want the fillet. And my buddy Josh, who loves to smoke meat, loves to smoke anything, is a great smoker. He came up with a recipe. It's called striper bellies. And we tried it last year. Rick, this is going to be the recipe, and I'm going to let you guys know when you go there. Now, mind you, you're going to have a little bit of rib cage in there, but when you smoke it, the rib cage just pulls right out. Just long bones, just pull them out. It's just chunk, flake, white meat. So basically, you want to do your brine. So with a brine, you want to do your 4 cups of water. Now, instead of adding white wine, he adds apple cider vinegar. And then you do your kosher salt, and you do your bay leaves, and you do your 2 slices of lemon. Minimum 24 hours. Let them brine in that. Once that's done brining, pull them out, pat them dry. That's the most important thing. Pat them dry. Make sure there's no moisture on them. Let them sit for about an hour on your countertop. Now, in your smoker, a lot of people put them right on a grate. He puts parchment paper down in the smoker, lays them in there, 165, 170, puts them on the smoker. And a lot of people like to use different kind of woods. He loves alder wood. And Rick, I'm telling you, if you come out here to Turkey Hunt with me, I'm going to give you some of this. You're going to be like, it's insane. And, you know, just let it go to the internal temperatures, 145, 165, and that's it. Pull them off. It's great. And it's a piece of fish that a lot of people don't want to even touch, but it's awesome.
That sounds fantastic. So, all right. Well, if anybody didn't pick up on that recipe and you're interested, certainly send us an email and we'll make sure we get it out to you. But
or hit me up.
Yeah. So I know you and you know me, and we've been thinking about turkey season. So what can we tell the folks? We've talked about this in the last couple of weeks, but you know, I don't want to talk so much strategies right now. We'll do that as we get a little closer to turkey season. But what are some of the things that you want to make sure that you have ready to go this time of year or moving forward just before turkey season? What are you doing to gear up and get ready for turkey season?
Basically, right now to gear up for turkey season, I'm basically, anywhere I drive, I always have a pair of Alpen binoculars in my truck, always glassing, see a flock of birds out in the field. Right now it's still tough because they're still in their wintering rounds. You know, when spring comes, the birds scatter. They're going to be all over the place. Like we were just talking about before, I did locate a good flock of birds, good flock, 50 to 60 birds, quarter mile down from my house that I have permission to hunt. And basically I'll watch those birds and keep watching those birds until the time comes, like 2-3 weeks before. And another good thing about early season scouting is, like I said, 24/7 run trail cameras. I had, and my property is further north from me right now. I have a trail camera out, and I'm getting constantly birds on there, which I didn't have last year. So my thing right now this weekend, I'm going to be going up there and find out why those birds there. There is a good acorn crop in there. So I think they're on acorns right now because it's wintertime. But you go there now, and then when the season comes close to be there, where do they go? So my main focus right now is locating the birds, finding where the birds are, and then wait until about 2 weeks before the season. Hopefully they're still there. If they're still there, I'm gonna get in there and set up on them. Go out and do your evening owl hoop, roost some birds. Let me roost them. There's a bird here, bird there, and and go from there. Just get up in the morning and go.
Right. Now your turkey population, I know last year was down a bit from previous years. You feel like it's bouncing back then?
I do feel it's bouncing back for the amount of birds I've seen this year. Last year was horrible. I mean, like I was telling you before, I hunted probably 9 days and never heard a gobble. Seen hens, never heard a gobble. And I run a gun from ridges to swamps, logging roads, cut cornfields, and hens are out in the field, no gobblers. And I don't know why. And even last year, my cell cameras didn't even show them. It was weird, but we did have that big snowstorm that dumped 30 inches of snow. So I don't know if we had a kill off. And I did see poulps, which was great after that. In the springtime, I did see poulps. So I think this year's going to be a good year in Jersey. I think this year is going to be rocking.
It's tough to hunt turkeys when they're not vocal. I mean, it's really, and it's not near as much fun because that's part of the fun of going out and is listening to them and that. But I hunt a lot of southern states, and I've been out many a days and turkeys didn't gobble. Now they're there, they just don't gobble much. Sometimes they do, but I've been out a couple of years ago down in South Georgia. And I would say half the days I was there, I never even heard a turkey gobble. But there was turkeys on that, those places every day. In fact, I shot turkeys that never gobbled one time. So, it just depends where you're going. But it makes it tough, and it's not as exciting. I mean, it's exciting when that turkey comes walking in, but it's fun to hear them gobble.
Well, the funny thing is, Rick, where the piece I was hunting last year is where I'm very successful, where I filmed my own hunts, killed many birds off there. I don't even see their tracks last year. On the logging roads, there was not even any tracks there. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, and you keep, then I moved to another spot. Maybe they're up on the ridges. Maybe they're up on, nothing. And so, make a long story short, Rick, I ended my season last year, 0 for turkeys, and I tried hard. I filmed a bunch of hens, but I don't know where the gobblers went. So
that makes it tough. I hope I don't ever have to experience that. So I have gone on some hunts. I'm fortunate that I get to hunt a lot of states. I start hunting in March and then hunt all of April and all of May and just travel. But I have gone on hunts where I have, very few times have I not shot turkeys, but it does happen. It certainly does happen. And that's tough when you're in a situation like that. Now I go on a lot of deer hunts where I'm not successful, but I'm hand picking my turkey spots. So, usually they're pretty good. So hopefully that continues this year. I'm going to start in Florida in March. And so I'm ready to get away from some of this cold weather and get down there where I know it's warm.
Me and you both. I was actually talking to my buddy today. I was like, my buddy Dave, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? He goes, it's cold. Well, I said, it's not cold today. He goes, yeah, but finally it's warm. I said, you want to make a trip to Florida to go play some golf for 4 days? He's like, when do you want to go? So, I mean, Rick, basically right now, what I see what's coming in right now, and on the East Coast here, all the way up from Maine, all the way down, I'm basically New England up. I see a lot of activities going on from wildlife, from birds, deer. I see a good comeback in our turkey population. That's the big thing. I don't know if our coyotes, I mean, in the state of New Jersey, we're overrun with coyotes, number one. Bobcats. Rick, we have so many bobcats now. It's insane. I get more pictures of bobcats, I would say, in a week time on trail cameras, 4 days, male, females, especially now that it's coming up to the springtime, I'll start getting the kits. She's walking past the camp with 4 kits. And then plus, our bear population. So the turkey population in the state of New Jersey has a lot of competition from the predators because
can you hunt bobcats?
No.
You can't. Okay.
No. And we're hoping they're starting to realize that we're getting a good bobcat population in the state of New Jersey. And a lot of people say bobcat, and then you show them a picture on the phone, like, I never seen one before. Well, here they are. They're here.
Yeah. In Iowa here 20 years ago, we didn't have all that many bobcats. There was always some, but there's a lot of them now, and they're moving further on up into the northern parts of the states and stuff. So a very huntable population so in other words, they'll expand quickly. I mean, they really do.
You sure you're gonna send them out here to the East Coast, the ones that are moving?
You can have all ours if you want.
Rick, I would love just to get rid of them. I mean, the bobcats are really, really taking a strong hold. They're actually, it's at the point now, Rick, where I'm getting more bobcat pictures than coyotes, and that's a problem.
They're a really neat animal. I mean, they're beautiful and they're fun to watch. Yeah. But they take a toll on songbirds and pheasants and quail and turkeys,
everything.
Yeah, everything. So what about your bears? What's going on with your bears out there?
Our bear population, as you know, they just shut the season down for 2 years now. We just had this year, in the past month, we had, in the state of New Jersey, we had 2 dogs get killed. We had a 90-year-old lady get 90, actually she was 80-something years old, got 90 stitches from bears. Our bears don't hibernate, which a lot of people got to understand, that they think that, black bears hibernate. No, they don't. Not in the state of New Jersey, because we have so much food. So right now, the Fish and Game, our Fish and Game, DNR, basically is petitioning our governor that's saying, hey, listen, we told you that our bear population is exploding. We need to either do a controlled hunt, do something about it, because it's only going to get out of hand. And right now, our governor set aside $1.4 million to educate our public how to live with bears. Well, there's no way to live with bears. You can't live with them unless you stop feeding them. And of course, in the state of New Jersey, everybody got bird feeders. Everybody sees a bear, especially now they're in every 21 counties in the state of New Jersey. They feed them. Well, if you're going to start feeding a bear, especially in the wintertime, there's no food. And they're up and going. So you feed a bear, bring them towards your house, what's going to happen? You're going to have troubles. And, thank God no one got killed, but they did lose 2 dogs. And hopefully the Fish and Game, they already petitioned. They want to do a controlled hunt next year. Me personally, Rick, I don't think it's going to happen. But it's something that it needs to be done. I can go out and sit, say for a week, say if you come out and bow hunt with me in October. Well, Rick, I carry 2 bottles of bear spray in both sides of my backpack. There's so many bears. I'll see in a week, say if I hunt 4 days out of a week, I'll see 9 bears. And it's overrun. But anyway, 7:27, Rick. So what's your plan for dinner tonight?
Boy, time goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm heading next week. Me and some of the guys, Mr. Wingbone Edwin, and I, and Lance from the office, and Ryan from the office, we're heading to Nashville for the National Wild Turkey Federation National Convention. So, and I know we were going to talk about some organized groups and some ways that people could get involved, you know, in your local areas. But, you know, just if you want to look those places up, and they can always use a hand, especially the Turkey Federation with COVID the last couple of years. They're starting to have banquets now, but, you know, they didn't have them for a while. And that goes on with Ducks Unlimited and Whitetail Unlimited and Quail Unlimited, and all these groups really had a hard time, but I think everything's bouncing back. So,
yeah, I think it is. I mean, right now our COVID rates are way low. You know, we're 5.5. So, you know, I think it's going to bounce back. And like you said, you just touched a good subject. If people want to get out and, you know, to help out, check out Trout Unlimited. Springtime's coming up. You know, these fish don't get put in for free. You know, join Trout Unlimited. Go out there and walk the streams. If you're a trout fisherman, have fun. You know, if you love to go out and shoot your guns, skeet shoot, trap shoot, you know, look at the NRA, look at NWTF. You know, right. There's a lot of, and I always tell people the best thing to do, especially in my town, Rick, go on social media, type in, you know, hiking, and there's groups that will pop up in your town, and join them. Go out for a hike, have a good time. Right. You know, and you're there, you know, and it's great just to be out in the outdoors, get out, get some fresh air, enjoy Mother Nature, because she's going to be here long after we're gone. So,
okay. Well, listen, Mike, I want to thank you for being on the show once again. And next week, we're going to run the show live from Nashville. Edwin and myself and Lance, I think we'll do the show next week. So we'll be in Nashville. If anybody's down there, make sure you stop by the Bresser Alpen booth and say hi to us. But Mike, hey, thanks for being on the show tonight. We're going to have to get running, but we'll get you on.
All right. It was a pleasure.
All right. Hey, make sure you check us out next Wednesday and every Wednesday on The Hunt with Alpen Optics. I'm your host, Rick White. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Rick.